So here's a quick overview of social action approaches to religion. So social action approaches. So social action theory is micro, it's action, it's not consensus or conflict, but it is a modern theory. Now, when we look at theories generally, so functionalism, Marxism, feminism, they've all been structural approaches which take the view of individuals being shaped by society. The values of society exist at the top, they filter their way down to the individual at the bottom. Social action approaches take a different view. They're bottom-up approaches. So the individuals are at the bottom of society, but they have agency and autonomy to shape the world around them. So social action theory is a micro approach. It focuses on religion in the sense of looking at the meanings individuals hold for religion rather than the wider purpose of religion. And again, when we're looking at the religious framework, it's all about trying to understand and interpret the world and also try and explore the meanings that people attach to beliefs. Now, there are two key social action thinkers. Weber is our first. Now, Weber, being one of the founding fathers of sociology, suggested that we should study society with a micro approach. Now, when looking at anything, Weber kind of used this term verstehen to try and look at the idea that we should empathise with the subject, the beliefs, the values that we're studying. Now, Weber focused less on the role of religion in a society and more about the meaning that people attached to religion through the practices and the beliefs. And also one of the key things Weber looked at was how individuals using an agency, using those religious beliefs, could shape the society around them. And in this case, he looked at the Calvinists and how the Calvinists, in his view, created capitalism. Now, the Calvinist beliefs had three core elements, which was kind of how they led to the development of capitalism. The first of these was predestination. The Calvinists' fate and whether they would get to heaven or hell had been predetermined, pre-designed by God. God had decided well before they were born they were going to heaven or hell. But God doesn't tell them. So being that powerful, benevolent God, they don't know whether they're going to heaven or hell. And that kind of creates this constant anxiety and fear for the Calvinists. Now, in order to try and find that clue, whether they had been chosen, they had two key roles. The first was hard work. They saw work as a God-given duty, and the better they were at their job, the more successful they were at their job, and the more money they made, was a sign to God or a sign from God that they'd been chosen to go to heaven. The other one was living an ascetic lifestyle, so living a very basic, frugal lifestyle, not spending their wealth, and obviously maintaining and gaining wealth. That was again part of their goal. Now, for Weber, these three elements was what created capitalism. So the belief systems facilitated capitalism. It created the right cultural values, in same with the economic conditions, to develop capitalism. This has been questioned and challenged by a number of theories and thinkers, but Weber's approach was kind of the first kind of challenge to Marx's argument that religion uses or is being used by capitalism to reinforce its values. So ultimately, for Weber, the Calvinists caused capitalism rather than, as Marx suggests, capitalism used religion to spread its ideas. Berger's our second social action thinker. Now, Berger, in a similar vein to Weber and to Bauman, the postmodernist, he was interested in how religions provided a sense of meaning for people, how it helped them to understand the world. It provided what Berger called the universe of meaning. Now, the universe of meaning idea is that religion provided a sense of understanding, it provided the meaning, it helped them make sense of the world, and therefore gave answers to questions such as life, death, existence. It also provided justification for inequality, poverty, providing that theodicy of this privilege. Berger also mentioned the sacred canopy, so the idea that religion acts like a protective canopy or shield or blanket around individuals, protecting them from uncertainty, from meaningless, from pointlessness. And again, it helped them in part sense of making sense of the world. It helped them deal with their position and their experiences. And this sacred canopy, this protective bubble, this protective safety blanket, we could argue in a postmodern society where we have pick and mix and people being able to draw different ideas and values, we could maybe look at the idea that this protective sacred canopy is now becoming more of a patchwork blanket of combined beliefs and values. And last but not least, Berger talks about the homeless mind. So when secularization processes occur, religion loses significance, people lose their religious beliefs, or their religious beliefs lose value in their lives. This means people are left homeless in terms of having no spiritual meaning or understanding of the world around them. Now, Berger's argument is quite good because it highlights that without religion, life would be meaningless. And Berger, in an act of self-evaluation, also recognises that the function of religion has been lost in modern day society. That sacred canopy is beginning to collapse.